these is working. Should we just grip and rip?
It did work.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, it worked. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Roadhouse Live. Today is May 11, 2023. We're coming into open here, kind of mixed, I would say a little bit. You basically have the S&P flat, you have the Dow down, you have NASDAQ up, which is pretty much continuing the theme from yesterday and today. PPI came in decently, have not had a chance to dig in to see what the actual line items are and how it's going to make sense for us one way or the other. But what I can say is that unemployment claims did jump up. So we have to decide ultimately, what is the fight? What is the battle? Is it the inflation? I'm thinking not so much. Is it the economy? I'm thinking maybe more along those lines as what the actual war that is going to be waged is here and now upon us. I think inflation is completely in the rearview mirror. I think any more conversation about it, unless it comes in extremely hot at some point, is a joke, and we need to get off of it. We just need to get off of it completely. So with that being said, I'm sure we get some Fed speakers today. I'm sure we get some more data points. Believe we get a little bit of data tomorrow. Nothing massive. We have to sit here and play the lines that we get and the flow that we get. We did see incredible flow pumping into Google yesterday. We saw some mixed flow into tech, but overall still leaning bullish. Banks have gotten a bid, but they're not exactly, screaming Superman at this point. So when we're looking at a suppressed VIX, when we're looking at the fact that they've been selling down every pop on it, when we're looking at the dollar still up against levels that are, still above that double bottom on the daily. Again, we asked ourselves a question: what is next? So with that being said, Bender, what is next?
What is next? That's a good question. You know what? Can we, Son, are you ready? I'm trying to help Stonkington. He's having some sort of issue here.
Yeah, I'm ready. It's going to be quick, though, so you better hurry.
All right.
Good morning, everyone. No data on upgrades or downgrades this morning. Just a few pieces of news. Disney had the year yesterday. It's down about 5%. They had the subs decline, but they're increasing the rates on the subs as well as on the ad tier. So I'll be watching Netflix off of that. Robinhood said they're going to be trading 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. So look for additional shenanigans there. WW, so the Atral Group sold off the rest of their stake in it. It's down 13% today. Some of you were playing that earlier, so this one again can be good. NIO, the car company, they did a filing where they may be moving to solid-state batteries later this year. So I am going to be watching QS because they're in the same sector making solid-state batteries to see if there's any movement with that.
Yeah, no, I think that QS play is interesting based on what you're saying. Huh.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And very interesting. Interesting time to be in. On the dark pool side, we did get a nice dark pool into Meta at 233.08. Microsoft at 312.31. Ego, that was a gold play a couple of weeks ago. They're coming into the dark pool on that. At 1168, almost 28%, $6 million. That's all. Yeah, that's all I have.
That's all you have. Okay, so from the standpoint of what you called out, if you were to pick one or two things, because it's like we have the Disney thing, we have the Netflix thing. It doesn't look like it's really grand for those cats over there.
Exactly. Yeah.
That they're basically going to try to fix the books however they can to come up with a millimeter of margin to be able to offer up. So there's that. You mentioned the gold with the dollar being up here a little bit. And again, the dollar's been completely beat into the ground and is up off of its lows. So that'll be interesting when it comes to that gold play. And then you mentioned QS with them with Neo potentially moving to solid state. If you were to pick one thing to stare down, what would it be?
It'll be Netflix.
Netflix. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have been bearish on Netflix for the past 5 years, and it hasn't served me real well. So, I wish you the best.
Well, I play both sides. I really don't care which way it goes. But on Microsoft, it did get a downgrade, so your put should be working today.
They should be, after they got destroyed off that late day run. And I think that's what's interesting about the game. It's like how, on the immediate news that Google doesn't suck at AI, how Microsoft didn't get an immediate dip was mind melting to me. I was just like, how does this not make sense?
Because like I was saying yesterday, if one is good for Google, it doesn't mean it's bad for Microsoft. It's not an immediate change in how it's going to play out. Microsoft has its own strengths, Azure, the cloud and everything, and Microsoft Office, all of those. And they are implementing their AI into all of those things that Google is doing now. Microsoft has already done that, right? So Google doing it now just gives the more validity to Microsoft already having done it. So it's like, hey, Google's doing it too now. So who is following who?
See, and I think that there's just a difference on how you look at the glass, right? Because if you're looking at the glass half full, you can look at it that way. Oh, they're copycatting. But those two companies, it's a battle of market share for them. It's a battle of, okay, so what search engine is going to be the one that is going to be used? And so Google has owned that, like, by far. The idea of using Bing, it made you borderline retarded.
Right. But it's not like they lost that much market share when this happened.
That's the point that I'm trying to make. It just strengthens their overall move going forward, which I believe dings Microsoft. That's why I went short, and that's why I was sitting there cussing myself for trying to be smarter.
Wait. You're shorting Microsoft based on market share of search?
Yep.
I don't.
Well, just put it like,
I can't get with that.
No, I'm not asking you to get with it. It's like it got with me real good yesterday. It got all the way up my ass. The point that I'm trying to make is Microsoft got just an absurd blitz and run off of anything AI, not only because of their own things, but because it appeared that Google was absolutely fucking stupid when it came to AI, rolling out their little machine. They couldn't get the answer to the question right. That pumped more money into Microsoft than I think should have been there in the first place. That's why I went short, based off of the pump on air, because it's like, oh, Google sucks, so Microsoft is going to be the only answer. Now it's looking as if Google might not suck. So then there has to be a pull, in my opinion, doesn't have to be the case, on Microsoft. Short to what level? I don't know. Maybe get it back under 310. Maybe. Is that even possible? That's more of the short-term look that I'm looking at. Obviously, some other company kind of sees the same. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I mean, you may get a pull, but I wouldn't. Knowing Microsoft's business, right? And I know it pretty well. I don't know that you can necessarily kind of add those things up and go, okay, this will have a negative impact on them because of that time that Google, screwed up the.
But that's when Microsoft got its blow.
I don't know that. It could also just be a function on how well that company is run. Right?
Totally. So, but understand, but Microsoft is trading 311 right now, right? 311. Okay. Does Microsoft need to go under 300 in order to prove my point, or to prove out the trade? No. Does it need to dip another buck from here in order for the trade for me to work? Yes. That's all I'm looking for. There's no way I could put a long-term put position on Microsoft with everything they have going on.
Yeah, however, I mean, the trade could still work.
That's all I'm looking for. It's like, okay. It's like I don't feel.
And we don't need to talk about the long-term positioning.
Yeah, no. Look, Microsoft is an incredible company. It's like, but it's like, you ran hot off of not only your own goodness, but the concept that Google sucks dick. Google is saying we don't suck dick anymore, so maybe we get a little pull on Microsoft. Maybe that's the trade more so than anything else.
I'll say it kind of like I said it before. You know, if Microsoft gets a leg up, they will own it, whatever it is. You know, sometimes they're late to the game, less so these days than they have been in the past. But now Microsoft has become this company that you don't want to lose a step to them, because you do, and they're gone.
No, they've
right?
got the money, they've got the brain power,
Yeah.
they've got absolutely everything. But the idea, the idea of the trade, I've already explained the trade.
I hear you.
Look, at this point, dude, I just want to get out even. It's like I'm not looking to say. I just
Well, you might get your chance.
you know, just get me out even. Cool. We'll call it even. It's like I went up and I fucking punched the bully right in the face, and he looked back at me. I'm like, well, fuck. I guess I kind of screwed up here a little bit. I'm just looking to be like, hey, can we call it cool? Can I get my monies back and just kind of move on here a little bit? That's what I'm looking for at this point. The trade is, in my opinion, busted unless we get some real acceleration to the downside, which is going to be a broad market move, not necessarily the fault of the Microsoft. All right.
Cool.
Sorry.
All right. Well,
Sorry for should I apologize for picking on your child over there?
No. It's nothing, dude. I mean, this is what makes the market. You pick on it all you want. It's not my child.
Well, no, I picked on it and they fucking rammed me in my ass yesterday. So that was nice. That was really nice.
All right. Let's look at here's a SPY daily. And I know we've been talking about you know, the midpoint here between the essentially ATH and the lows in October. And I think I'm going to keep reminding us of this, right? It's like every day we're seeing this price action in the markets, in the ES. And there's days where it's like, God, why do we have to keep doing this? Well, this is why we have to keep doing this, is because we are literally right in the middle, all-time highs to October lows. And I don't know if that's keyed in exact. I mean, this was just kind of rough when I drew it, but we'll say within 20 cents, 413.99. Right. So the fact that we're wobbling in here, I mean, it makes sense, right? This is an inflection point. And like we've talked about, it can take a while for us to, in order for us to really get through this and it becomes support to indicate that ultimately we're going to be trading higher, the market has to decide that, okay, it's not so bad. Everything's okay. We can go ahead and start pushing up again. I don't know if that's going to be eventually we know that's going to happen. I don't know, if that's going to be the decision that's made this time that we're up here, hitting our head on this. So, these moves that we're getting, the fact that yesterday we moved like freaking 15 handles like the whole day, right? I think until like the very end of the day or something like that. But it makes sense, right? So it's frustrating. It's frustrating when we spend a bunch of time going nowhere, and then we get a day like we got yesterday where, they did their best to screw everybody, and they did a pretty damn good job. I mean, and I think we did a pretty good job. We had the bottom here nailed. We had the top up here nailed, because they were taking out, previous levels literally by one tick and then pulling it back the other way. This green shaded box, you know, we were looking at that yesterday, that previous fair value gap here on the 15-minute. So when it dropped down into here, and you know, we were talking about, is it going lower? Is it It's like, well, you know, they filled that in. Maybe that's what they were looking for. And then we started to see some signs of life. And it's like, you know, they got the best of everybody that was trying to chase a breakout or a further breakout. We got a couple of breakouts that were tradable. So what do they do with it today? Well, I don't know, but we got some levels here that we can watch. The first one I'm looking at, you see this gray shaded box down here, fair value gap on the 15-minute right here on this candle. That kind of breaks out of this D here. So this is kind of the first area that I'm watching. This is also, you see the purple shading. If I get rid of this box, that purple shading there, that is a previous new week opening gap, right? In fact, this whole area in here, which makes it kind of, it's like, okay, well, that's 20 points, 25 points, right? But that's what's all inside of here, right? I've got this blue shaded box, and this actually came from an area further back, but I just kind of keep moving it forward. So eventually I can just delete it when it's gone. But, you know, if I move this box this way, we can see, oh, look, this candle right in here, left, this fair value gap. That's also this area of chop right in here, right? So this, to me, this area in here is pretty important, right? If we get through this to the downside again, yesterday we sold through it and then popped right back up above it after filling this fair value gap below on the 15-minute. So if we sell through this and it becomes resistance, now we're targeting yesterday's low, that 41.1225. And now we're pulling right down into it. Again, looking at this 15-minute, and I'll zoom into a 5-minute, but you know, we can see that this move right here, we look at, okay, well, the most recent areas that you know, left some people behind. Right in here. And like I said, I'll zoom in on a 5-minute. This lower one right here, if we're trading below that, then we're gonna spill, most likely. Let's go to a 5-minute now. I can just kind of tighten these up a little bit. Something like that. Using that previous candle's wick right here. So that gives us the bottom of that box, 41.3625.
How many handles are we did to your purple box down there, the top of the purple?
We're in it.
The top of the purple at the bottom? That's blue. We're in the blue. I'm talking about the purple below it.
No. We're this whole area between 41.75 and 41.2725.
Okay.
There's this entire area. I think there's 2 previous new week opening gaps that make up this area.
Got it.
Yeah, so we're in it. And we spent, you know, a lot of yesterday in it as well, and the previous day as well. And what we continue to see so far, and obviously we keep talking about it, is every time we get too far away from 41.50, we come back to it, right? Which again, you know, if I think that the midpoint, like we drew on SPY here, I want to say it comes in around that area. We know there's a bunch of stuff that lines up there around that 41.50 level. Until we get away from this, right? It's like, all right, they're going to keep playing with the same area in here. Here we got away from it when we went down to 4070. What was that? All the way down to 4060, 4062 half and pulled all the way back right to it. Ran all the way up to 4206 and came all the way back to this same area, right? Those 4170s is where we saw all those large order blocks that I was tracking.
Mm-hmm.
So until we can actually get out of this zone, there's nowhere for us to go. We're just kind of spinning our wheels until it's behind us. And unfortunately, while as long as we continue to chop, we're going to get sideways action. We're going to get like we got yesterday where it's like, screw everybody, take out both sides, search and destroy type stuff, until we finally get a breakout from this zone. Maybe today's the day. Maybe they give it to us. I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's the midpoint of.
So if you're targeting an area to where you believe it could be a bounceable area in through there for us to try to get long, because right now the selling is continuing, at least on the NASDAQ is still green. At least the Qs are still green. So you're holding on over here. If you were to look at a level over here, what are you thinking, man?
I mean, right in here would be the first area, right? That's
Okay.
4134.75. But I'm not looking to, like in this scenario where we've got these red candles coming in. I wouldn't be looking to get long until I see a bounce at one of those levels.
Mm-hmm.
Do a fair value gap behind on that bounce. It pulls back, uses it as support, and then I can start to look at it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I need it to take out something meaningful, some reason why it, I have to be able to justify why it went where it went, and be able to say, okay, well, like in this scenario, maybe this is what they were looking to do. Maybe this was the objective, was filling this in, right? I'm not necessarily thinking that right now. I'm thinking more that this could just be, a speed bump sort of thing right here. But, when we took out those lows yesterday, it was a previous low, I think, by one tick. And as soon as I saw that, it's like, okay, I can make a case that was the objective. That's what it was going after. It got it. Now we look for the bounce. We start to get that move up, pull back into a little fair value gap, and then higher. And for anyone listening on the stream, I'm not an ICT concepts expert by any means. I'm not trying to teach this stuff. This is just what I'm seeing. And this is how I'm interpreting it with my limited amount of knowledge of those concepts. But these levels that I'm putting on here, come into play from multiple angles. There's multiple reasons that these levels add up and make sense. So I think that's all I got.
All right. Appreciate that. All right. There's Stonkington, paging Stonkington.
Stonkington in the building. What's up? Got connected. I'm ready. I'm awake. I'm sharing.
Stonky joined.
I joined. And it's time. We had a big ER last night, so I think we know what that means. Murder Mouse. We got this guy on the docket today. A bear, brick, Disney, Mickey Mouse, 1000%. Whatever the fuck that is. Any guesses? Any guesses?
I don't see it. Or did you post it in Discord?
I posted on Discord.
All right, let's see what we got. Ooh.
Look at that guy. I can't tell if
Is that a Lego?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is he a Lego? Not Trump's in at 1,300. Big spender. We got Tesla's going to go 1999. Sonny's in. Freeman, you got to pay him to take it.
From what year is this?
I don't know. We'd have to hit up Brick.
Man,
Fair.
there's so
I
many
mean, I-
fucking idiots out there.
I don't know what this thing is. So I'm going to say $1,000. I have no idea what it is.
It's going to be something really stupid, dude. Really dumb.
River said it looks old used. Sonny's in at $8.99. Sooners can do $2.99.
Can you share a picture of that on your screen that I have?
Let's
shared
call
here or
it.
not?
I'm going to call it $4.99 just for shits and giggles. It's like
reasonable?
it's like $500 for a Lego seems ridiculous, but
This is the world we live in.
the pet rock sold for with a little rock NFT sold for like $1 billion. So who am I to say?
All right, well, we've got a winner, and it's going to be HellsBells.
Wow.
Last sale was $5.55.
Boom.
Nailed it.
It's my first W in the game. I feel
Hey.
so proud.
He gets a Lego that nobody knows what the fuck it
A
is.
$500 Lego.
This is great. This is great. I'm so
Congratulations.
excited. Murder Mouse. It makes
You
perfect
win.
sense.
Yes. All right. Okay. And enough of the Murder Mouse. Let's look at the NQ over here. All right. So here's the 4 hour. We're still looking at the same trend line that it's banging up against. This was left open on a 4 hour from way back, the top of this candle from way back, wherever all the way to here. And now we filled it to the tick, stopped. So that anytime you're like, I wonder if ICT shit is right. It's like, well, that was pretty right. These gold boxes, we can see these are on a daily. So from that candle down to there, and then this one to there, those off the pop, that's what we left open on the daily. And then here's this green line here is going to be our order block. Again, we can see how it came into play and worked right there. So we'll see what we get. I mean, if we're going to have to push down, this would be a target right here, 347.75. I would be looking for that just because, this is where the algos see liquidity. So that's what I would be looking for on the NQ. If we jump over to, let's check out the Russell. Here's what I had. This was all open on the ES until obviously this morning. So there you go. Let's check out the Russell. All right. So here's the Russell. Here's this big falling channel that we're now just right back into. We had the try to break out, rejected. And this is really interesting here too, because this is going to be our order block line that would come into play from this candle here, down close candle that we pushed up off of. So we're coming right back to it. So be interested to see what happens here off this this 170.54. And then we've got, these are some bearish order block lines above. You can see a perfect reaction to that one. So that was, go ICT there. And then we've got this one up here as well, where it keeps rejecting. If we're going to pull down, I'd be looking for this area to fill in. And then below, here's another bull order block line all the way down there. So would be if we're pushing down, I'd be looking for this 736.50, and then would be watching for a reaction to this one, the 1717 on the Russell. Again, it's like, they're buying some KRE this week. If the banks are all good, I saw this. I'll just drop this in the room. Florenzics there tweeted it out, but we had yesterday a 1900 call on the Russell for September. So, and this guy has 8.2 million on that line. So that we saw that come in yesterday morning. So it's like that's a bull taking a shot there for a longer term. So we'll see what we get on the Russell. If we swap over to the individual tickers, let's check out NVIDIA. All right, so the lines I'll be watching here, they tacked on to this dark pool right here. So this is building out at 285.71. For upside, I'm going to be watching this fib right here. You can see clear reaction yesterday, clear reaction back here. So looking at 290.26, and then below, I don't know what it is about this 287.70, but it is important. Bang, bang, all this right here. So if we're going to pull back, I'll be watching the reaction. That one worked. I think you can see it pretty good as, bounced right up through there. So a lot of reactions to that line. We'll just kind of see what we get on NVIDIA today. It's still in this like kind of rising setup. And then Apple. Let's check out Apple. So they tacked on to this dark pool area. So there's a lot of money sitting right here on this 173.57. But I don't usually like to use those right off the bat as the trigger. So if we were going to go down, I'd be watching this one, 172.65. You can see over here, over 7%, average 30-day. And then above, I'll be watching this fib at 174.20. Fast money last night, they said they're buying the fuck out of Apple. Buffett says they're the best company, bulletproof, whatever. So we'll see what we get. Just going to watch flow, and that is all I have for today.
All right, very good. So we have about 6 minutes until open, give or take. Let's see what they give us. We know that flow into Google was on fire yesterday. We know that. We know that Apple flow was fairly neutral with them hitting 175 calls and 172.50 puts. I think the question, just like it is every week, it's like, what are they going to be hitting on Apple? Are they going to be coming in and hitting 175 calls? Or are they going to be banging 172.50 puts? And then once they get to those levels, are they leveling up? Are they going to revert back down? That usually gives a good indication. And as always, we'll be watching the daily and weekly SPY and SPX W calls that tend to come in and offer legitimate direction. Let's keep our eyes and ears open. Let's play what we see, not what we want. I know it's easier said than done. Let's try to get her done. Hope you all enjoyed. We'll see you soon.
See you in a few.